And good morning. Already Wednesday. How are you doing? We wake up today to find rain is in the forecast and it will be coming in later this afternoon. Expect that to be happening. A 60% chance of rain. The complete forecast coming up. And of course, today, all eyes are up on the hurricane as she makes her way toward Mississippi. It should make landfall here in a little while this afternoon in Louisiana. We've got full details. We'll show you the maps. We'll go over what is expected, the winds, and being prepared. We've had one closing so far, Quitman School District. It will close around noon today. We'll start releasing students early to get home before the weather gets in. Most likely that's going to be the only one we have today, with more to follow tomorrow. We'll watch all of that. That's up and coming here in just a few moments. Already 6:30, early today. So glad to have you along. We'll check your forecast. We're going to do mostly weather this morning due to the fact that's where we're headed. We'll do that next. Let's go to Collinsville first and, well, get us an update.
Somebody once said, opinions are like armpits. Everybody has them, and most of them stink. Well, in our day and age, we have no shortage of opinions. Open up your social media. Opinions are everywhere. Turn on the radio. You've got sports talk, political talk, news commentary, all opinions. Turn on your TV. Still more opinions. Apparently people don't want news. They just want what somebody else thinks. But God in the Bible calls us not to be merely people of opinion, but rather people of facts. It says in Proverbs 18:2, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. Haven't you found out that a lot of opinions are just based on ignorance? They just don't understand what they're talking about. They just speak about something or into something without ever even knowing the details. And for many of them, they don't care about the details. They take no pleasure in understanding. Their mind's already made up and their opinion is settled. Beloved, don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Don't be a fool. Seek understanding, knowledge, the details. That's what wise people do. And if you'll do that, when you give your opinion, it won't stink. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message from Brother Ben as we start today. How are you doing? We hope good and well. Everybody's up and stirring there. Dorothy, good to see you there. Causeyville joining us. Chet's up. Robin, good morning to everyone. Debbie K, Crescent Lake on there. Let's start out by showing you watches and warnings. Let's pull up Honda Marine radar. Here's what we've got. Let's go along the coast here as we go just east of Beaumont and we get into the Lafayette Lake Charles area. We'll see that we have a tropical storm warning there. As we get from New Iberia, let's look at this and move in. Here's Lake Arthur, Abbeville, all of these here of Morgan City. This is going to be a hurricane warning. Again, this is just going to be, you know where Orange, Texas is if you're traveling? It's going to start about right there as we come across with our first tropical warning. And by the time we get to Lake Arthur in this area here around Morgan City over to Houma City, Louisiana, Golden Meadow, this area here is a hurricane warning. As we get into the Slidell, Louisiana area, it drops back to a tropical storm warning as it is in Mississippi. As we look at this, now this goes all the way up to Columbia, Brookhaven being a tropical storm warning. As we get over to the Laurel area, this is going to be a tropical storm watch. As we go north from there and we get into Clark County, this is where it changes. All of that is really, really close to our back door. Would not take much to change this. As you get into Clark, you get into Jasper County, Smith County, Scott, Newton, Meridian, Philadelphia, and Kemper counties. All of this area is going to be aerial flood watch, and it is going to rain a lot. Now, let's talk about where this is going and where it will end up being. As you'll see this east side, all of this rain, this is where the majority of the wind and rain is going to come. It's the east side of the storm. Let's turn on our track, number one, and show you the path that this thing is going to be taking. Although the center of the storm is staying right where it was going to make landfall last night, the cone of this storm has shrunk some and pushed just a little bit west. Now, it will not change how much wind and rain we get in Newton County and Lauderdale County and Kemper County, but it has shrunk and it takes us out of the path or the coned area that was there last night. Let's go down and look at this. This is the same area. Right now, it is a Category 1 this morning. It has 92-mile-an-hour winds moving Gust of 115 miles an hour moving northeast at 10 miles an hour. And as Odie and I were talking just a moment ago, this is extremely slow. As Francine gets ready to make landfall, she will move up to roughly 98 miles an hour and have gusts of 121 miles an hour this afternoon. Now, this is going to take that same path as she comes into Louisiana. Burnt, Louisiana, right there in that area, up to Morgan City, cutting across there at Morgan City as it comes in. This will move just east of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, cut in between there. Here's Hammond, here's Baton Rouge. It will cut in between those two and move into Mississippi near Macomb, as it had. Now, last night, we had this just a few inches over here on this side of Macomb through the center. So it's moved just a tad, teeny bit west. It still follows to the east of Brookhaven as we come up, and this will come into the Jackson, Mississippi area, east of Terry, west of Richland. Let's look at this. This is coming through the center of Jackson on I-55 where it meets 49. That's not all that far. Y'all know that's how you go to Hattiesburg. That's where that interchange is going to be as it comes into Jackson. Staying west of Ridgeland, and this is the I I'm talking about, west of Madison, and then it will go follow due north as we look at this through Goodman and then make its way up through Greenwood and make its way out of the state just west of Collierville, as we'll see that right there. This has moved even a little bit since I last looked at it at about 4:30. As it exits the state, it'll still have wind speed of 29 miles an hour. As we move back down here near Meridian, this is still expected to have 35-mile-an-hour winds with gusts of 46 as it moves through our area. That's something to think on. And this is going to be tomorrow around 1 p.m. that it makes its way through here, anywhere from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, depending upon how fast she does. There's a lot of variance that can contribute to how this is going to act. Now, the spaghetti models, as we term this on at this point, really show. Now, we've got some stuff over here to where it could move east, but the majority of everything shows this path that it's showing. Now, it may be a mile or two difference as to where it goes, but the vast majority of the models are putting it right where it is toward I-55, where Highway 49 is, where it crosses Jackson there, 20. Right there at that intersection is what it's mainly showing. Again, that can change later as we look at this. Now, let's look at the threat of severe weather. Let's look at today. This is what we've got. Level 1s and level 2, anywhere from Houma, Baton Rouge, to Biloxi, to Pensacola, Mobile, Apalachicola, Florida, is a level 2 up to Hattiesburg. Look at this right here. Here's Wayne County. This is Waynesburg, and it cuts across here at Ridgeton, Mississippi, over to Chatham, to Brewton, Alabama. Central Nell, all this area is a level 2. From there north to the Lauderdale County line is going to be a level 1, which means tornadic activity can happen. It can be strong thunderstorms with this, and it will be gusty, windy as we look at this. Now, let's look at tomorrow, as it will change a little bit for tomorrow as we pop this off. Let's go to day 2 here. This is what we've got. Let me turn the path off so you can see. Here's Meridian. Tomorrow, the threat starts to dwindle. It will be very little from Toomsuba out to Wyandotte in all of these areas. Let's turn on our locations where you can see exactly where this will be. From Lauderdale, Mississippi, across Dalewood east into Alabama, starting at Toomsuba, even including Alamucha and down to the Wyandotte Motor Sports Park being the line. East into Bama tomorrow is the threat of tornado, and it will increase to a level 2 once you get to Uniontown, Alabama, Camden, these areas around Tuscaloosa. It will increase to a level 2, taking in Birmingham, Montgomery, Enterprise, Dothan area, and down to Chattahoochee in Georgia. Destin, these areas here will be a level 2 tomorrow. So that's what we're expecting on tornadic activity on this. Again, so far what we know about closings is we just have school getting out early in Clark County, their Equipment School District. Enterprise moving along as planned. All of Lauderdale County schools, Kemper County schools, none of that has changed as of yet. Should that change, we will update and let you know on all of what's going on with that. So far, that's what we've got. Now, let's get a little bit closer into what the National Weather Service is telling us with their graphs this morning. Let me pull this over. So we'll all be on the same page here. All right, let's look at wind threat of what the National Weather Service is telling us this morning. This should start tonight, and this is going to be an overnight storm basically from 10 p.m. through 7 a.m. in the morning. We should have wind gusts of anywhere from 30 to 45 miles an hour. 30 to 45 miles an hour. I said that wrong, didn't I? We are going to have power outages. There's no way around it. That is going to happen. Now, the length of time, we don't know. As you'll know, we had those power outages last couple of weeks up in Collinsville where a tree fell. Remember that? And we were, 5-6 hours on one of those till they got that fixed? This could be easy fixes. Where we get into on this is there's going to be so many places with trees down, it will take longer to fix all of them. So be prepared. If you've got a generator, don't wait. That should be priority one this morning, making sure that runs. If you've got one that's hooked to the house, make sure you've either got diesel fuel or you're ready with propane, that you've got enough to have that. A lot of times with trees down, it just delays everybody getting to where you are. I do not see this, and I want to be clear on this. This is not going to be a Katrina. This is nowhere near that. But we are going to have some trees down and things not quite as they should be, and it could be delayed power outages. So that will happen. You need flashlights. You need batteries. And I know the loaf of bread stuff is coming, so we're not even going to tease about that. It's always a run no matter what happens on that. Make sure your cell phones and anything that you charge is already fully charged, and be ready for this. Now, as we get into the tornadic instance on this, let me remind you this. The National Weather Service can only do so much. When it comes to a regular tornado season, they're easier to spot. They can get these warnings out quicker. What we have coming up here is this doesn't happen very often, and it spawns tornadoes quickly. They're just like this, and by the time that they develop, a lot of times they're over within 1 minute, 2 minutes, and they've already done their damage and moved on. So the reason I bring that up is be prepared, because it may not be enough time to get the warnings out on these when it comes to hurricanes. They're just quick. They can form so fast, you don't know what happened when we have these winds that blow in. So be prepared for all. And I cannot remind you, if you've got a tree overhanging your home, do not sleep in that room whatsoever. Whether it's your living room, if it's your bedroom, stay away from that. If you've got a big oak tree or a pine tree, those old pine trees get to swaying and they'll snap and break, and the top falls down onto your home. Got Mike, he'll take care of you. If you need a tree cut, get in touch with him, Mike Reed. He's real good, helps us out a lot with that. So we'll have more to talk about on that. Let's look at what we've got next coming with this. And this is going to be flash flooding equipment. I dare go out on a limb and say it's going to be bad equipment. It always is. The meadows in the Meridian area. If you own a home there, I'd go ahead and get me some sandbags around my house, whatever it is you need to do, because it's most likely going to flood in those areas out near Van Zyverden. If you have had it in the past, expect it, because here's what the National Weather Service is showing us. We're going to get 4 to 6 inches of rain now from Jackson to Meridian into the Alabama line, including Columbus Air Force Base, Kemper County, Philadelphia, and Clark. I want to remind y'all know how downtown Quitman floods quickly. Enterprise near the river. All of these likely flooded areas that you've seen in the past. Charlie Dunn Road, we had that last time. That was the first time there, but never ever forget. Go ahead and get some things set up and be prepared for what's coming. It's better to be prepared than not. As we look to our west from Vicksburg on into the Louisiana line, even Yazoo and the Mississippi Delta will be a level 2, which is going to be 2 to 4 inches of rain. But the Meridian area, and I say Meridian area, that takes in Lauderdale, Jones County, all of these areas here, we are expecting 4 to 6 inches of rain. It will be quick and can flood, and we don't want you to be caught up in something that just really throws you off and you're not expecting it. We don't want water in your house at all. We went over this just a moment ago as we were looking at the possibility of severe weather today. Those are those chances for today and tomorrow. They kind of combined them. And again, I urge you on these storm systems, it can be fast and then sometimes almost impossible to get the message out. When you see storms, watch this. Hurricanes are just so different than a normal season of what we expect. As we look at temperatures, here's what we've got today. We see that we've got a warm front coming. Let's go ahead and look at our temperatures, our 7-day forecast. Here's what the National Weather Service tells us today, 76. We have an 80% chance of rain both days. Now, it will move to 100% chance of rain tonight. Again, this threat moves in after 10 p.m. Friday, we should say 85 for high. The weekend's not bad, 87 both days there, and back to work Monday, somewhere around 86 to 85 with a 20% chance of rain. As we look at this through all the way through the 25th, not bad. Highs in the upper 80s is what we've got. Doesn't cross the 90-degree mark. We'll watch that closely. Let's see what else we got going on this morning. As fishing, I bet fishing's not on your mind for today. It's more about where are my garbage cans so they won't blow away. But if you've got all that taken care of, your major time is going to be 6:50 this morning. That's going to be about 15 minutes from now. You'll be able to go out and fish till 9 o'clock. It should be good before the storms come in. Another time will be after dark. Really not a time to go fishing after that. You need to be up. East wind is going to be 25 miles an hour gust is what we're expecting. So it's going to be rough there the later the day gets. Now, back behind Francine, let me show you what's going on here. We got two other systems that are trying to develop there off the coast of Africa. Atlantic, we've got one here at 80%. That doesn't look to affect it, but it could make its way to the Gulf. It doesn't have that appearance just yet. Here's Francine as she's getting ready to come on in toward the Mississippi line. Again, we'll watch this closely throughout today. Let's go back and look at radar again and see what all we've got. Make sure we don't have any changes that have come up in the last few moments, which it does happen. Let's turn off the severe weather where you can see these radars a little bit better. Takes out those colors to where you can see what's going on. Here's what we've got going on. Let's go back to radar, turn on the high-res radar. Here she sits. Look at the rain that is coming our way. Here's Homa. Now let's look at where she is. Let's turn this on. This is expected to be this afternoon as it crosses right here, moving to a level 2 by 1 o'clock this afternoon. Soon after that, it'll make that landfall coming in. And again, 98 miles an hour is expected. Could it go higher? It sure could. Here she is sitting this morning, and this is all that rain that's coming and will wrap its way into Mississippi. It's going to be one for the books as we get ready for this storm. I thought and hoped we were going to miss this year, but we're getting a little bit there. And we will be extra careful today through all of this here. Limestone County, Alabama. Diane, good morning. Glad to have you joining us as well. Let's see here. God bless America. Today is 9/11. We cannot forget that. We got Kirby. We'll be talking this morning about 9/11 and what that meant to our police officers. We'll get into all of that this morning as well as we begin this. Now, I want to remind you, we touched on this, and I'll get Odie to talk more about that. This area, the Lauderdale County area, does not have shelters. I'm sure that there's going to be some places that would take someone, don't get me wrong, to take it in, but there is no official shelter here. They do on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We'll touch on that to give you information on that if you're watching us from the coast in those areas and need to take shelter. We'll look at that. Again, be prepared for what's coming. The only closings that we're aware of, you can inbox us and let us know, is Quitman School District. It will start releasing students today at 12. Most likely, with the storm coming so late, the weather beginning after 10 o'clock of the severe stuff, we won't have many other closings for today. I expect more to come for tomorrow. That's what we're expecting. There may be a few businesses. If you decide that, again, inbox us, let us know so we can get that word out, who will be there and who will not be open. All of that's on the way. Let's look back at radar one more time as I pull this up. Let me show you where other rain showers are happening. We are getting light showers this morning. Let's turn this off where you can see here. We are getting light showers at Macomb, Hattiesburg already. Natchez has got a thunderstorm already. Nothing happening in the Meridian area. If you're traveling to Jackson, all is good. Alexander, Louisiana has a little bit of thunderstorm activity, even back over to Jasper, as we see there. A little bit here in the Delta area, north of Kosciuszko, Vaden, Winona area, getting a little bit of rain this morning. As we look back at these colors, remember, this is an aerial flood watch that is coming our way. Down through here, this is a tropical storm watch, and then all of this red is a tropical storm warning here. Then when we get into the Baton Rouge area, you'll have more defined hurricane warning as it makes its way coming in there. And again, it's going to go just east of there is where she's lined up. That's an overview of what we've got. We will begin the morning show in roughly 5 minutes. We're going to whoop up, and I'll use that big word, whoop up, a pot of coffee as we get ready for this morning. Join us, won't you? We'll be right back with an update on all of this at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you soon.